Big day at the mailbox. Today we have right here, first off, 5 TTM responses. And I'll tell you right now, if you think I have some, cool and different ones that I've sent out to before, just wait, because based on what I can figure out from the postmarks and the initials there, these are going to be some good ones. Really different stuff here, but got a couple of, I've got a trade and an eBay purchase both here as well. We get to those ones first. First off, the trade right here is the 72 Topps Kurt Bavacqua signed. Picked that one up in a deal on Sport Lots. Glad to receive that one here today. And an eBay purchase here. Both of these are going to be my favorite set and my favorite team. As right here, packaged deeply into here. Come on. It is way in there. Appreciate the packaging there, but yeah, it's a little tough to get into here. There we go. Almost. I got part of it. Maybe that'll be enough. And there we go. All right. And the guy that I mailed to and never got back, everybody else gets him back except me, is Del Unser. Another high number one right there. So pair of Indians for the 72 set out of a trade and a purchase. So continuing on down, we have 5 TTMs right here. The first one I already opened here. You may have seen the gap in there, but I'm redoing this one because I kind of totally misworded everything there. But some of you know that I am a musician as well as a big sports fan, collector, all this kind of stuff. So occasionally I do write to musicians out there. And this one is one that you may recognize for stuff outside of the world of music. I mean, he's a legendary jazz guitarist in the Pittsburgh area. Taught jazz guitar at, I think, at one of the colleges in Pittsburgh. I don't think it was University of Pittsburgh. It might have been Carnegie Mellon. I can't remember now, but taught guitar there up until like the last couple of years. Finally retired. He's in his 90s now. But yeah, like I said, I'm a musician. I play actually lead guitar for a band called The Nothing. Here's a short clip. Before that, I was the drummer for a folk punk band called Death Before Breakfast. You may recognize the full electric version. There's the intro music here today. And eventually I moved on to play guitar for them as well. And so, yeah, music's always been a big thing in my life, and really, I could trace it back to hearing this guy and, well, any of the music that he was associated with, because you may recognize the name Joe Negri. He was, like I said, he's a legendary jazz guitarist in Pittsburgh there, but he also was known as Handyman Negri on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and, of course, owned Negri's Music Shop on the show there. Unfortunately, signed my custom index card upside down, but hey, it comes out great still. I think it's kind of cool. A bit of an odd quirk there. And he even wrote a short note back to me as well saying, "Hi, Drew. Thank you for the terrific note. So happy to hear that the music from the Rogers show was so important to you. Love hearing about your Fender Twin Reverb and your Gretsch G5420T. Enjoy, your friend Joe Negri." Really great to get that one back. That's just, I mean, the reason I ended up even looking up how to write to him was that there was a member of one of the autograph groups I'm on Facebook got back an autograph after an email just to the guy who played, David Newell's his name, the guy who played Mr. McFeely on the show. So I thought, hey, I'll send to him too. I'll look up, Joe Negri too. Wish I could have gotten Mr. Rogers when he was still alive. He actually was in a hockey card set, you may know, the 1991 Pro set named, it's kind of honorary celebrity captains for a bunch of teams, and so they named Mr. Rogers as the Pittsburgh Penguins one. Unfortunately, never got it signed before he died. I've only seen a few signed examples out there, but he was willing to sign several of them. I mean, he's Mr. Rogers. He would, I'm sure he would be willing to sign all that stuff, of course. But great to get that response there from Joe Negri. So, moving on, the next one I've got here is postmarked from Provo, Utah, with the initials of BW on it. Added a little sticker on the back there as well. But this one comes from the Topps First Pitch sets, where they took any famous person or really cool first pitches that are out there and made cards of each of those people. And so on this one, very good. Got this one, I sent it off to Mr. Burke Waldron. And wow, he actually wrote a short note back, signed an index card as well, and signed my card, and sent along this typed letter that has been sent out with all of his successes as well. Has just a whole bunch of updates on what's going on in his life right now. Has a short letter on his philosophy of life. I'll definitely read that one here in a bit. The short note back here, which dated August 13th, says, "Dear Drew, wow, what a great military heritage you have. The first island our Navy ground force unit invaded in the Pacific was Macon Island. By a long shot, maybe your one Army uncle that was in the Pacific may have been there. We were teamed up with the Army. Cool. But on the second invasion, Saipan, we were with the Marines. Before we became ground force, we were assigned to Armed Guard, which was to handle visual communications on cargo ships. We called them Liberty ships and banana boats. Sincerely, Burke." I mentioned to him about my family's military history in World War II. I had a great uncle on my dad's side of the family who was in the Navy. He was on the cargo ships, mostly working on the Atlantic side. Actually, I think he was working entirely on the Atlantic side. But had a couple of others where I don't know where exactly they fought. They were Army members. Had a great uncle on my grandmother's side who actually died in Holland in 1944. He was actually at the invasion of Normandy as part of the, he's a 327th Glider Infantry Regiment. But, yeah, was killed over there. But I had one on my, another one from my grandmother's side who was in the Army over in the Pacific Theater. And so that's why he mentioned that, yeah, he may have been right there along with him. So that's kind of cool. Right there we get the index card that he signed. And also, of course, that awesome first pitch card. By the way, if you ever get a chance, go and look up the first pitch that he threw. The dude ran out on the field. It was, I think, like 92 when he threw the first pitch. He's like 95 now, I think. Something like that. He's running out there faster than I can run at 36. It's like, dude, that's amazing. So, two great successes here to start things off today. Really happy to get these two back. And of course, I mean, I'm certainly not going to complain about these other three either that are in here. We'll continue on here with initials of TT from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And let's see here. This one you may remember I bought the card a couple weeks ago and got shown off as just a standard purchase. And today it does indeed come back signed along with an index card there, and that is Tim Thompson. Card, of course, from the 1958 Topps set, I believe that is, or is that 59? That's... yeah, I forget which one I'm blanking on now, but either way, it's a 58 or 59. I think that's a 58 set now that I think about it, but cool to get that one back, of course. Former catcher long ago, and one of the 10 oldest living players right now. Really happy to find a card from him, so really happy to send it off and get it back as well. Moving on, we have the initials of DJ from Orlando, Florida. Then we're going to see a couple more editions here from the 1972 set there. Of course, I showed off the eBay purchase and trade earlier. And right here, this is indeed Davey Johnson, another high number that I just picked up fairly recently. Very happy to get that one back. It was a $5 fee that I paid on that as well. I've heard he will sign for free. I've also heard of some of the free ones coming back smeared. So it's like, you know what? It's $5. I'll toss it in just to make sure that I'm totally safe. And yeah, there we go. Came back very safely, very well signed. Definitely happy with that. And the last one, the initials are LS, and this one appears to be coming from, I think it's a St. Louis, Missouri on there. Not exactly the clearest postmark in the world on it. But I believe this is going to be another one, possibly from that 72 set. And yes, indeed it is. And that is Larry Stahl. Signed in that ballpoint pen down there at the bottom. See if we can get a good view of that. So there you go. What a day at the mailbox. A couple of non-sports ones that I'm very happy to get a response on there. A couple of editions, 4 editions total, the 1972 set. And of course, I mean, Burke Waldron, can't go wrong with that. That was a great response that he penned out there. I mean, like I said, the guy's in his 90s, and he's like one of the best TTM signers that's out there. As a guy who's, I mean, his sports fame is throwing out a first pitch at a game, and that's it. But, I mean, long time, he's a World War II vet, and, I mean, like I said, dude ran out there faster than I can. He threw the ball about as well as I can, probably even better. And, of course, Joe Negri, you know, coming back signed as well. So, wow, what can I really say? This is one of the best days we've had at the mailbox, I think, since this channel started. I mean, I've had some really, really cool days out there. So, once again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down there. Get updated anytime I get some stuff in the mail. And, of course, if you want to find out how to get some autographs by mail as well, go and check out sportscardforum.com. So much great information on there. If you're a newcomer, tell them that the screen name of * censored *, the word censored in between two asterisks, is the one that sent you. That's my screen name there. Find me there. You can find any posts I put up there. I usually link all these videos onto there as well. Go and check it out. A lot of great info there.